the Elegoo Saturn 2. Let's give it a review. Hey guys, resin 3D printing certainly has come a long way in a very short time, and this is obvious when looking at the new Saturn 2 from Elegoo. I was lucky enough to get my hands on the original beta Saturn, which was just over 2 years ago now, and that was a 2K prototype, later being released as the 4K version. Well, the Saturn 2 doubles that and more, and we'll cover all that in a moment. Straight out of the box, this is a handsome machine. These grooves in the lid not only serve to make it look good, but it feels stronger and more rigid. The power switch has been sensibly moved to the front, and now that it's there, I can honestly say it feels right. This is where it should be. The USB port is located on the right hand side, and the power point is at the rear. There's a distinct absence of Ethernet or Wi-Fi if you're looking for those options, and this may upset some potential buyers, but personally I'm happy with plug and print. The metal resin tray unscrews with removable bolts, and it's fair to say that this is a solid piece of kit. Rather than the standard FEP, Elegoo are calling this a PFA release liner, which I believe reduces sticking issues, but don't quote me on that. With the tray removed, we get our first look at the 10-inch 8K resolution monochrome screen, producing 7680 by 4320 pixels. This translates to a very impressive XY resolution of 28.5 microns, which outperforms even Elegoo's Mars 3 Ultra. Under this cover, we can see a USB port, which is for a supplied carbon air filter to reduce resin odours. When I reviewed the Elegoo Jupiter recently, I strongly urged viewers not to use the USB port for anything other than the air cleaner, as it's a very low powered port. So I'm very pleased to see Elegoo including this warning label on the Saturn 2, echoing my previous warning perfectly. I still maintain, however, that this is a lost opportunity. Sure, I wouldn't charge my phone here, but if it was properly powered, I could, for example, run an enclosure heater, something that I'd personally prefer to see rather than air filtration. But many want the benefit of less smelly air, and Elegoo have gone a step further by including a suitable hole in the lid. This would allow a more powerful air purifying system to be hooked up, which is an excellent addition. The sturdy Z-arm slides effortlessly on widely spaced dual linear rails, travelling smoothly. The print plate is obviously bigger than average and has a knob so large it would make a porn star jealous. The hex bolts are also massive, making initial finger tightening nice and easy. The plate locates securely and squarely onto the Z-arm, and it can fix at 90 degrees to allow for resin drainage, but you get the feeling this wasn't really part of the plan. When it comes to leveling the build plate, Elegoo supply this dedicated card, and this is much thicker than ordinary paper. For that reason, you'll want to keep this card safe. The Saturn 2 has a 2-inch print height advantage over the original Saturn, which gives us a noteworthy overall print volume. The user menu is amply sized and nice and clear. The touchscreen is responsive and the user interface is straightforward and easy to use. Elegoo tell me that they've now developed an 8K resin to complement the Saturn 2, but unfortunately I couldn't get any in time for this review, so I opted to use Frozen's 8K Aqua Resin, using these settings with no anti-aliasing. It can be a little brittle in use, but if you take your time with this resin, you'll achieve great results. I just want to take this opportunity to thank WHAM Systems for sending me this excellent slap mat. I've used it a number of times now, and I can honestly say it really does make cleanup easier. Let's be fair, resin printing is a messy business, and anything that makes this easier has got to be good. So again, my thanks to WHAM. The Saturn II did a terrific job with the Amerilabs Town test print. For my fellow jewellery enthusiasts, the open source ring also came out beautifully. To really test the printed abilities, I turned to our buddies at ARCHVILLAIN Games, and of course they didn't disappoint. It's clear to me at least that the 28 microns produced by this printer are evident in the finished results. So what do I think of the Elegoo Saturn II? I'm actually annoyed by it, quite frankly. I take my job of critique fairly seriously, and Elegoo have made it hard for me to say anything other than positive comments. I have to hand it to them, Elegoo seem to have got this one right. It has no Ethernet or Wi-Fi option, and that is the sum of my criticisms. Other than that, they've nailed everything perfectly. It looks great, it prints well, everything is solid and well crafted, and the price is pretty reasonable. If you're looking for the early bird price of $500, good luck, as I think these will be snapped up manically. But do check the link in the description, just in case more stock is added. The Amazon price, Elegoo tell me, will be around $600, making it a tad cheaper than the Anycubic M3 Plus, which on paper it outperforms, which will be a bit of a headache for Anycubic, I'm sure. Personally, I've been very impressed with the performance of the Saturn II. Until now, it's been a case of, do I want a printer that gives me fine detail, or do I want a printer that gives me large build volume? Well, Elegoo have given us both in one, and for me the Saturn II is a printer worth owning. So to sum up, there's every chance the Saturn II will run rings around the competition. And that's it for this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Take care, and thanks for watching.